Good evening. Lovely to be invited back. My name is Jason Rothwell. I'm from the north of Manchester, and I've come to join in a communication with the World of Spirit this evening. We will just wait for some people to join us, and then I will say an opening prayer, and we will try and go to as many people as we can in the course of the evening. But thank you for joining us and for supporting Spiritual Psychic TV, as always. And do we have some names of people that I can say a couple of hellos? Hello to Julie Watmow. Hello to Stacey Shaw, who is saying hello to Julie. Hello, Phil Shaw. Hello to Rhonda Robertson. That's a lovely name. Hello, Christine. Hello, Shelley Hall. And to Ruth Townsend. Terry Wall. And hello, Mary Dixie. Vivian McIntosh. Hello, I'm going to assume that's just Tina, but hello to Tina. Hello, Hazel Harrison. It's a lovely name. Hello, Desiree Carmi. Hello, Alison Barton. And hello to Lauren. I am told, and hello to Jenny Rosie and Christine Davis. So hello and hello to Daniela. I am told you are all regular attenders of the programme. So welcome and hello from me. It's my second time here. Hello, Leslie Knight and Julie Malkin and Christine Lacey. And so I will go into an opening prayer as I do feel the word of spirit drawing nearer, and then we will go forward. I may give a few words before we commence the demonstration, just so that your loved ones are bedded into my energy. But if you could just join me in the silence briefly. I call to gracious and divine spirit, you who are the infinite power in heaven, you who are found in the skies and the seas and the earth that surrounds us. I ask you draw near to me. I ask my guides, my inspirers, my loved ones in the higher realms, move around me, that we may join in the communion and brotherhood of souls. I ask for our elders, for our children, and those who cannot care for themselves. May you keep them ever in your sight. For gracious Mother Gaia, she who is the Eden you have made for us, may you pour the waters of heaven upon her and allow her to be healed at this time. And for those who are on beds of sickness, those who are struggling in their minds and with the worries of the day, I ask you send your ministering angels to watch over them. This I ask in the name of the one true, now and forever God in spirit, you who are eternal life and everlasting love. Amen. Lovely. So, hello, Pamela Roger. I can see your name there. We won't bother with some words. We'll just try and crack on, actually. And who? Lovely, lovely. Let's just try and understand it. The first thing I'm being made aware of, obviously because of the platform, I can't go specifically directly as I would in other circumstances. So we'll just give out what I've got, and hopefully we'll try and break it down as quickly as we can into a message. And so the first thing I have is a gentleman, and as the gentleman draws near to me, he makes me aware that he's Dad. He does make me aware that his passing is caused by a rather aggressive cancer. He gives me the month of June as a month of significance. And he is also drawing me to the name Mary. So I don't have a lady with me called Mary, so I don't know if she's on the higher realm or if she's on the earth plane. But as this gentleman comes near to me, he does tell me he's a fan of soccer, but he used the word soccer, so I would imagine that this is from when he was a younger man and not, and he would argue that he would play it by using that word. So we'll try and stick with that first. He's also took me into the month of December, and he is telling me about the need for healing upon the earth plane for somebody who's suffering with an illness either of the skin or the lungs. I can't quite work out which one it is that is showing me at present. But would anyone understand that? We need a Mary. We need Dad, who passed from cancer. There was a name passed over, and I'll have to just find where that name went. There was a name that was similar to Roger, but I don't really have it very strong now. There is this month of June, the month of December. I also know I have a cat in spirit with this gentleman. He probably would have played football as a young man. And I do feel also want to talk about a lady in the world of spirit who is with this gentleman who has dementia. So I'll try not to go on too much, because otherwise you'll end up saying yes to a load of stuff and actually you'll only be able to take one thing. I do apologise that my cat is trying to join the service. But could anyone who could relate to that information please pop up? And I do believe I want to connect to a female, to be honest. I do feel that he is your dad, and you would understand your dad being in spirit, having passed with a very rapid spreading cancer, and that June and December specifically would make reference, and also the month of September. And I will stop there before I get myself into a knot and forget everything that he's just given me. And he does also have a lady who suffered very badly with confusion at the time of her passing. And this cat, there's a very annoying cat in spirit, and I do apologise for calling it annoying, but it keeps pressing itself into my mind. Your father passed with an aggressive cancer. He has an Auntie Mary here on the earth. My birthday is December. He didn't play football professionally, but enjoyed it. His mum is in spirit with Alzheimer's. Well, Terry Wall, can I connect with you? Because I would consider at this moment in time that is a very strong connection. Would you understand September is his birthday, 2 other family members? And what about where there would be a cat? I mean, it may just be that I want to shoot my cat at this moment in time because she's really insistent on joining this service. But would you understand where there is a cat in spirit? Because I can feel the energy of a cat. She is me. Okay. And your cat is in spirit. They are making me aware of a younger male energy upon the earth. And how do I understand that? And I do feel he should be your son or your nephew. And I want to say that Dad has been around where this boy is. What is that about? As Dad draws near to me, one thing I do get about him is there's a very smiley energy. He's a very warm gentleman. He can be, I've got to be careful how I say that. He could be prickly at times in his sense of humour. And so when, if he made a joke, it would be quite a risky joke. Not everybody would laugh at it. Mainly because it's not quite funny. Would you understand that, Terry, whilst I just sort of asked this gentleman? And I do know this gentleman comes forward with a really strong abundance of love, but also some concern at this moment in time. Not concern for any particular issue that he makes me known for, but a concern just because I feel that you are struggling at the moment and you do need to hear from him. And because it does keep making me aware of sending healing to the earth plane, and that there is, and I do feel it's a lady. And I know obviously you mentioned Mary being on the earth, and that was the name that he gave me. So would we know where Mary is in need of a little bit of TLC at the moment? Not necessarily for any particular illness, but just because, obviously the circumstances that have engulfed the world. And I'll slow down a bit there because we're 10 minutes in, and I feel like I've just read half the chapter of the Bible to you. You know who he means in particular. That will do. I know Dad also is not a fan of church, and he's not an overly big fan of the Bible. I also know that Dad, as I say that about when I said that about reading the Bible, I don't think Dad would be particularly fond of the church at all, and I think he could use some quite bear with me while I find a godly word. He would use some very colourful language relating to people. Would you understand that? She's a very elderly auntie, Mary, but it's with her daughter being looked after. So long as you understand why he's making reference, and it is female that he was making reference to. No, he doesn't sound like a fan at all from what he's just referred to. Yeah, let's not go into that joke. But a nice man. I like this man. He does give me the name Robert. He keeps repeating this R name. It's a male R name. It came through then as Robert. I do believe he's making reference to an uncle. And I do feel you should understand an uncle on the earth and an uncle on the higher side. And there is also this mention of somebody who has either had heart surgery or has had concerns about their chest and has had this looked into. And I do feel had this looked into. So it's not something unknown. So please don't take it as I'm predicting a physical illness. Somebody is aware that their heart is... He wasn't religious at all. He was unsure of what to believe, to be honest. He said he'd find out when he'd passed. Lovely. Lovely. Can you understand the name Robert, or a name very similar to Robert? I know that's a bit vague, but it is the R sound. And he's talking about an uncle this way, upstairs in the higher side, and an uncle this way, and both of them need to be mentioned. And if it's not Robert, then it's the same name as the man in my ear, who is Richard, or it's Roger. So I'm a bit stuck. And then he is also talking about the life of Brian. So I know that there should be a link to Monty Python at this present moment. Would you accept that? And he's also making reference to a young man on the earth who is incredibly good at football. So I know that should be a family link as well. And I feel that he's telling me that he's been around you recently and you are aware. There's some activity in the kitchen he's making reference to, so I don't know if he's opening cupboards. I mean, he is making a bizarre joke about the washing machine. I don't understand this. He is talking about the washing machine. Have we had a problem with the washing machine or the dryer recently? Like, I had a problem with it last week. His name is Brian. Ah, lovely. Because he was talking about the life of Brian. I like that. That's quite clever. Your spirit, it's strange how they give it you stuff, but what are you talking about here? He's also making reference to where there is a pregnancy on the earth at the moment. It's not one to come. We should know where there is somebody currently. What? The lights keep flickering in the kitchen. Lovely. So you'd understand why he's making reference, at least to the electrics in the kitchen. And if I got it wrong from lights to washing machine, that's fine. Have we ever trapped our cat in the washing machine? Can you place this at all? A cat getting stuck in the washing machine? Or where a child used to sit in the washing machine. He keeps opening a washing machine door. What are you talking about, is it? But this flickering of the electrics, this is your dad just coming around. You had to pull the washer out. Well, I'll take that. What are you on about there? He's a very busy man, but baby just being born, okay, that's fine, because he is talking about where there's pregnancy, and if it's just new birth, then I hope you'd allow me to be a couple of weeks off or what have you. But it is something that he wants to acknowledge. He does keep drawing my attention back to this lad who's really good at football, and I need to give him a pat on the back. If you don't know that, then, well, I'd hope you'd know that. And he was also talking about sending healing to the shoulder. No animals in the washer. No, I don't know what it is. It's something about something being stuck in the washer. And, right, just very finally, let me try and understand what this is about. The gentleman, just as I asked him to move back, he told me to mention the fact that somebody had a very bad leg. There's a pain going all the way down my right leg. I do feel we want to talk about where somebody, and I can only give you the words that he's given me, and thankfully that's not a swear word, but I have to make reference to somebody who had a peg leg. And by peg leg, I mean a wooden leg. So do we know anyone who had a wooden leg or had to have their leg off, or where there's a serious illness from below the knee? Because this is what... Maybe a sock stuck. Oh, you mean the washing machine? Lovely. I'll accept that. If it's something stuck in the back of the washer, I'll accept that. Can we understand anything about where somebody either had their leg off or they suffered with gangrene in the leg or something similar? Because that is what he's making reference to, this pain in the leg. And hopefully, if you understand that, I'll be able to move on. And I do keep being told about a lady by the name of Edith, Terry. I would like you to say yes or no about if you know Edith. So yes to Edith or no to Edith. My husband's auntie passed over, had her leg amputated. Okay, so long as you understand why they're making reference to this issue with the leg, that's just... I don't have this lady's energy with me. I just know that is what he's making reference to tell you that they've been around one another. And they do keep, though, giving me this name. It's Edith. My nana had gangrene. Right, so we understand why it came as gangrene as well, because somebody did say gangrene. What are you talking about there, madam? And apparently, just finally, if you don't know this lady by the name of Edith... No, you don't. No. I know, she's a different lady. That's fine. You would know where we've been seeing the sparkling lights at the moment, and not just the flickering in the kitchen. Our eyes have been being brought attention to where we've seen random sparkling flashes. And I am going to leave you there because I'm ticking over me approximate time for an average message. And let me try and understand. And I'll leave you with the love of this gentleman, Terry. Thank you for being my first connection, and it's very much appreciated for you to join us. Are you upstairs or downstairs? Okay. Yes, Edith. Aunt who passed before I... thank you. Thank you for that, Terry. I appreciate that. It allows me to move on to the next one without any baggage left over. And just say a quick hello to a couple of people who have joined us in the meantime. Hello to Kelly McKeating, I believe that is. Hello to Cheryl Bebenyak, I believe that is. Hello to Eileen McKay. That's a very lovely looking dog. Hello to Heidi Spicer. Hello to Indigo. I won't say Creative Clairvoyant as your name because I know it's not, but hello to Indigo. I know you're a lovely medium and thank you for tuning in. Hello, Sally Worker. Hello to Michelle Rhodonite. Rhodonite is an explosive, isn't it? If you put it in water, I believe it blows up. And hello to Lauren Badrock. And I think I'm going to be going with another dad, actually. So let's... Let me just try and get hold of that connection. Okay, so I do know, again, I'm going with a father. I'm going... Is it father or grandfather? I'm going to give it out, and then hopefully you'll take the bits of it that you can understand, and we hope we'll be as close to it as we were with the last one. But they are giving me the name David as they drew closer to me. I also got given the name Betty, so I know that Betty is in spirit, I believe. They are talking about a Lillian also, so we would know if I've got... Oh, that could be difficult, couldn't it? If I've got the name Betty and then a Lillian, it's possibly Elizabeth. So I need someone to take one of those three names, Betty, Lillian or Elizabeth, preferably all three of them as separate people, and the name David. And then also where there is a gentleman, and I do feel he comes on a father vibration, but I'd be lying if I said he was dad. I feel he's actually granddad, and he passes from heart failure. And since he comes on that vibration that says he's granddad, it means it is you who is watching's granddad. And there has been a birthday within the month of November. There is something about a holiday to Mexico. Lucky you if it is you. Whether it's a holiday that's been or a holiday that is wanted, because he keeps showing me a piñata. And there is a general feeling as this man connected, and the ladies that are there also. And there is a mention of a Sheila, but I don't feel a need to be really strongly drawn to the Sheila. And, well, that could be Australia, couldn't it? Couldn't it? Yeah, it could be. Can anyone understand this before I continue? So, a birthday in the month of November, the name Betty, Lillian, or Elizabeth, the name David, grandfather who passes from heart failure. My dad's name is David. My great nana was Lillian. And Heidi, did you understand any of the other information? Would you know where there is a Betty or Elizabeth? And would you know where there is either talk of holidays to Mexico or Australia within the family, if not with yourself? I don't know why anyone would want to go to Australia. Everything there wants to eat you. Can you understand any of that, Heidi? And the birthday in the month of Sheila was your stepmother. And can you understand then anything to do with, what was the other thing I said? Where there is a celebration in November. It's a bit rubbish if you've got a birthday in November, because Christmas is only a month away and nobody wants to give you anything. I should know, because mine's in December and nobody ever buys me anything. Would you understand any of that, Heidi, before I try to connect further, since you understand the Sheila, but she did come off on a funny vibration, which is interesting. And would you understand the general feeling, Heidi, of you can't take heart failure? Other nan was Liz. My son is in Australia. Right, okay, so you can't understand the heart failure, and Betty or Elizabeth obviously does pass as Liz, so I'll take that as my mistake. I do apologise for my dog just deciding to kill next door neighbour's dog. Your sister and nephew both have birthdays in November. Heidi, I would hope I'm working with you then, because that is a lovely series of connections there. I'm not going to say what you've just written, but I did get what you meant, which is lovely. That's fabulous. And there is healing being, I know I'm having a series of dodgy legs today. Somebody is telling me that there is a problem with sciatica on the earth at this moment in time, and that we're having healing sent for this pain in the top of the thigh. And that, Heidi, would you accept that there is a general worry around you at the moment? The feeling that came with this gentleman as he joined and the lady was one where they feel that you are suffering with anxiety at this moment in time. Can you understand, first of all, that the healing to the sciatica or the pain in the leg, and also where there is this healing needed for this anxiety? I do feel the anxiety should sit with yourself more than anyone. I mean, it would be easy to pass it around the family, but I do feel you yourself should be suffering with this feeling of being fed up, a low mood, and what are you doing to my hand there? And you would also know, what is that? We would understand somebody who passed from a stroke. I think that's what that is. Is that what that is? Yeah, it is a stroke, that. Would you understand that, where someone passed from a stroke? The lady who's there, Liz, let me just try and work with Liz a second. Like you. You have sciatica and you're pretty anxious with what's going on. Well, please accept the healing there. I know it's an anxious time for many people and we're all suffering in our own different ways, but please acknowledge that your family and spirit are seeing this worry around you and they want to soothe it, and they do want to send healing for this sciatica. I suffer with sciatica myself, so I know it's a horrible pain, and not many people, unless they have it, understand it. Liz, your grandmother Liz, let's she is, I know it's an easy thing to say, but she is a character. She has a nice bubbly sense of humour. She feels that she can be, sometimes she can be really awkward, if you would understand this. I feel that she likes to have a moan about things. I hope you'd understand that. I don't mean that in any disrespect. It's quite a, she feels like she does like to have a good moan. She also feels like she's one of these ladies that when she comes to your house, you can't get rid of her until she's ready to leave. And I know I gave you heart failure, but I'll change the heart failure into where you would understand a grandfather who suffered with a serious problem in his lungs because the pain that's being given. Your auntie had a stroke but didn't pass from it. Okay. Well, and maybe that's my misinterpretation, but I did feel it was upstairs. But if it's not upstairs, then yeah, that's fine. But would you understand where there's a serious problem with the lung? So lung cancer or emphysema at the stretch with your grandfather, because the pain that he put on me as his energy joined has stayed in the same place. So it might just be me misinterpreting what he's trying to say to me. I don't ever really talk about money. I never say whether you're a rich man or a poor man because you never know who's watching. But please at least accept that there is some financial support being sent. He just flipped a gold coin at me. It's a golden sovereign, actually. So COPD. So that, well, see, Richard, COPD is emphysema, isn't it? Are you there? Oh, I don't know. I believe COPD is emphysema. So please take. Yeah, it's the same thing. That's fine. I knew he was in the sort of general right place of illness. But please accept this from the gentleman. I do apologise. I just had to check with the doctor in my ear what it was, if they're even similar. There's also this healing for pain in the spine. However, this healing in the spine is in the very middle of the back. So I do know I need to send healing to the middle of the back. I don't know what's causing that at the moment. Let me try and... I don't know what that is. A lumbar. Anyway, you would understand at least that they want to send you some financial support, whether that's just because they feel that you need to have a treat or because you're struggling. I don't know. Your auntie has passed now, so that's why she's brought this about your skin, so you hope so. Well, I'm glad you said that. But anyway, he threw this gold sovereign for you. He is talking about... I mean, you're skint and you've got sciatica, so I don't really want to give you anything else to feel. But they're talking about somebody suffering with a hernia. I don't know whether this is upstairs or down, so I'm just going to give you this and hope that you'll be able to place me where somebody had a hernia. It's not a hernia of the stomach. It's telling me it's a hernia of the bowel. So if you know where that is, you also have COPD and get back pain. So this is why he's making me very much aware of this problem, and he wouldn't let go of it, and the healing in the back. So you understand that. I know your grandfather worked outside and spent a lot of time outside because he's just shown me. Do we know who used to work on the railway lines? Because I keep seeing him stood on next to the trains. And a clippy. Can I just give you this? If you don't understand it, I'd like you to look for it if you could. But somebody who used to be a clippy on the buses, and that's one of those people who used to do your tickets. I do feel it's a lady, actually, which is odd, because you're not sure about the hernia. Well, I don't predict illness to come, so please don't take it as that. It was just, I keep being given this pain, and it's either in the appendix or the bowel, but it's about, it does feel like a hernia. If it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. Hopefully it will make sense at some point, and hopefully it won't be you. And that's not predicting, that's just hoping that I'm right at some point. But you should be able to ask about who used to work on the buses and who used to work on the trains. And I've just said two of the 2 lines that I swore I'd never give. And what else are we talking about there? And then he used to work next to the old railway lines, so did my nan. Okay. Because I can see the train lines, and then it's a man and a lady who are there, and they've both got freezing cold hands as I could see them going to work. And they do say that they have been around your house recently, and that they're you think your nan worked on the buses after the war? Well, if that is something you could possibly find out, that would be lovely, and I thank you for accepting it. Have you spilt something on your carpet? I just asked them to give me evidence that they have been in your house, and I can see a cup being knocked over and something spilling all over the floor. I don't know what it is that you've spilt all over the floor, but it is supposed to be evidence that they have been with you in the past few days. Oh, what did you change that to? And I also know that you used to drink lemonade at your nana's house from the pop man. Is it lemonade? Can you place me a connection, Heidi, just very quickly? Can you place me a connection either to lemonade or dandelion and burdock? Because this keeps changing its flavour. And then I can also taste blueberry pop. So I know your nana must have gone to the pop man like my great grandma did. But then this spillage, can you place me where there's been a spillage? And if you can't place it, will you at least watch for it? If it happens this week, then you know that the money that they've sent is on its way. If it's already happened, you also know that the money that they said they're sending is on its way. Your daughter spilt a can of oil at her dad's. I will have that. That look is very close to what I wanted. Please take that then as a sign from them that they have been around, and it's a very odd thing for them to give me, but if it makes sense, it makes sense, so I won't argue with it. Take that. They are sending you the help that they can, and they are sending you healing for the various worries that are around you at this moment in time. And thank you for allowing me to work with you, Heidi. I leave you the love of your grandfather, your great grandma, and the auntie and the other gentleman who joined, and thank you for the love. I have just been told about I can't decide whether it's an Alsatian or a boxer, but there is a dog that's just come through, and I mean, they couldn't be more different if they wanted to be. Well, they could, I suppose. Can you place me? Yes, we did. The Potman lemonade, my brother liked, dandelion and burdock. Lovely. Can you place me where there used to be 3 dogs in one house, and these 3 dogs are of varying sizes, 2 large dogs and 1 small dog? Because they keep showing me something that looks strangely like a bichon friche, but I know it's not. It just looks like one in my mind. And then these 2 rather medium to large size dogs, but there are 2 of that size and 1 of the other size. And I'll leave you with the love. Thank you for allowing me to connect with you. And yeah, that's fabulous. We'll try and get somebody else. Are you doing adverts this time, Richard, or? No, that's fine. Hello, sweet roses. That's very nice. I like that saying. Hello, Geeta. Hello, Joe. Hello, Love and Light. Hello to Crystal Eyes. Well, all of them went from being very normal names to very unique ones. But lovely to have you all join us. I'll try and find another connection. Oh, that's not odd one, isn't it? And hello to Nature Lover. I don't know what to do with that one. I don't think I can give that. We had an Alsatian as kids. I have an American Bulldog now, and I used to dog mind, have to look after also. Well, I love that. Thank you very much, Heidi. They just made me aware of these 3 dogs, and it was an Alsatian and a boxer-looking dog. So I'll set that. Thank you. Hello, Linz. Nice to see you. I'm trying to work out how to give what I've got. It's very dodgy, this. Can I mute myself through this to ask you if that's okay to give? Hello, Marcus. I do apologise. I just had to mute myself to consult on how to give the piece of evidence I've just been given. But I'll go back and find something else. Right. There's a gentleman that's just drawn forward, and as he draws forward, one thing I do know about him is that at the moment of his passing, and I know this doesn't sound evidential, but I'm a bit stuck as to how to word what I'm supposed to say. He has a series of complicated illnesses. I do feel he's a tall man, he's quite slender. The slenderness to his body is caused largely by the illnesses that are affecting him. I know he is a very sad man. He suffers with depression a lot. I do feel he relates either as an uncle vibration or a friend. I'm trying to get more, and I do believe that you would understand that in his lifetime, this man was homosexual. That is the best way I could possibly word the series of things I've got there. Hello, Eileen McKay. It's from Rochdale, actually, so it's a Lancastrian accent. Would anyone understand that? A homosexual man in the world of spirit who is either a very close friend or uncle connection, and he does make me feel he was very, very poorly at the end of his life. Beyond that, I'll have to get some more. I do need a connection to the month of March. I need a connection to the month of September. April and October spring out at me. They give me the name Margaret also. Would anyone understand this? Hello, Siobhan Rourke. O'Rourke, sorry. Can anyone understand that before I have to ask this gentleman to go back? Because what it came through as his passing, I don't really. And I do feel that his passing would have been quite tragic, as this gentleman drew near to me. It would have been a great loss. And he would be much loved, but he didn't feel very loved. But that's fine. It's one of those where, considering the evidence there, that I wouldn't be surprised even if I said everything, it would be accepted. Which is, I mean, I do apologise, ladies and gentlemen, for that there. I would hope somebody would know that you had a friend in the spirit, in the world of spirit. Would you understand, though, Linz, that he was a homosexual man? Because that is the feeling that he gives me. And I mean, obviously, I am myself, so it's not that I feel is the precarious part, but there is something involved in his passing that makes me feel reluctant to go into it too much. Like, I don't feel it's for public airing. I think it's probably a private conversation. Okay, Coke, Lauren. Would you understand where there were some I'll just carry on. Would you understand where there were some concerns about his health? And obviously, as you say, he did come across as very lonely and very depressed. So long as you would understand that. And Lauren, would you understand where the month of March, September, and a lady by the name of Margaret fit in? Because that is the other connection there. One would hope that that's enough to go on. Let me just try and... Isn't it fun when you get a dodgy topic? And let me try and... Lauren, if this connects to you, you would understand your nana being in the world of spirit. I mean, you may call it something else, but I do know I want to bring a lady through who does feel like nana to yourself. And I do feel... Right, okay. So you both kind of have an idea. So it could be either of you. But so the only other things I can give you is a Margaret, a connection to March and September. I also am told to mention his birthday was March, and I am also told to mention something about a parrot. So we do need some, and I do feel it's on the earth, and being made aware of a parrot or another exotic bird, but it did look like a parrot, as I was told to mention it. And that would have to be something we are aware of. His birthday was March, so that's enough to go on, isn't it? Right. And I do feel, though, when he is well, he is a very nice, lovable man and a very gentle soul. And I do feel in this man's energy there is just a wanting to be loved. But I do know that, obviously, in a depressed state, he could be quite a difficult person to understand and to be around. And I won't go into any more of that. But to yourself, Lauren, if I try and focus on your energy, what I am drawn to is to tell you that life is making progress, whether you see it or not. I am told to mention that life is moving forward for you, and that there is a slow upbeat of positivity around you. So I hope you would accept that. And if you don't feel it at the moment, then please at least allow it to work into your energy, that there is this upbeat of positivity towards you. Can you come closer to me? He's a very difficult man to work with, unfortunately, because he came through very open, and now because I don't want to be open, he doesn't want to be open. That's a nuisance. Anyway, Lauren, if you could just let me know if you can understand where this upbeat of positivity is around you and how you feel that it was so funny to me. It's all right. Thank you for at least accepting the connection. I just know he's such a strange energy there's two sides to his character. And if you don't want one side of his character, then you can only have the other side. And unfortunately, the other side is difficult. And the bit that I should be connecting with is the part of him that is so loving and kind and very, very busy. I do know he's very busy. He does tell me he could be vicious, though. I know I've said he was a lovely character, but he does give me a very vicious tongue all of a sudden, which is... Lauren, I must stress this, and I shouldn't, but he does keep bringing it back to me. There is issues about this man's health, and not just his mental health, but his physical health that is involved in this man's passing. And I know you say that obviously he committed suicide, but it keeps making my blood feel funny. So there is either he took an overdose or there is something in his blood that is part of this worry. I won't go into that any further than I have already, because I believe that's me taking somebody's life story past what it needs to be. But I hope you'd understand that. Either passing by overdose or a passing that involved high levels of alcohol at the time of doing it, or something else, which I don't wish to go further with. But I do know that I want to send you love. I do know I want to send you positivity. I do know I want to put a lightness in your step that really sort of lifts you at this moment in time. I'm told that you're a very well-grounded person, and that you are quite good at being open, if you would accept that. I also know you're very intuitive. I would argue, though I don't know you from Adam, that you can talk to spirit also. And what are you talking about there? I am also told, Lauren, and please forgive me for this, but if this is with you, I am told to tell you this was not the first time of this situation. So his passing, it was not the first time that he had mentioned that he had tried to take his life. But I do feel there's quite a gap in this time. So there was an attempt to take one's own life, and then there was an extended gap. But I don't wish to upset you. What I do wish to give you is this positivity, this upliftment that he brings with him. I'm talking with my hands all of a sudden, so I know he must have talked with his hands and been very expressive like this. I do know I need to tell you to keep grounded, but you are very grounded, and you can talk to spirit, which is lovely, because he did tell me that you can communicate with him and that you are very, very open. So I'm glad for that. Thank you. They're giving me the name Jonathan. I don't know who Jonathan is. What are you talking about Jonathan Pye for? This man, there was an attempt a few months before he did it, so you understand this. They gave me the name Jonathan, but I also know that he could go, this gentleman, on random rants usually about important things, but could rant. And from the moment he started to 20 minutes later when he stopped, he didn't pause for breath, but he also was incredibly funny as he did this. Would you understand that he could just find something that had annoyed him, and he would just rant and rant and rant and rant, and you would be sort of hysterical and cramping up at how funny it was, even though he wasn't making a joke. He was just being loud. Would you understand that? And I do believe this is to bring this around you, this happiness, this positivity. And you used to find Jonathan Pye. That will do, because he is showing me Jonathan Pye, and then he's doing an impression of this scene, so I know this is part of his character. I also have to say, I'll only give you this and then I will leave it, because I feel I could talk about this person all night, probably because it's an energy that resonates very similar to myself, and so his experiences of life are easy to inflect upon me. How was I going to say that? I also know he was physically beautiful, but did not feel himself to be physically beautiful. As his energy drew near to me, it came across as a very ugly energy in appearance. You would understand that he felt ugly. But he is beautiful. As this man shows me his face, it's angelic. He has a lovely face and very pretty, but does not believe it to be so, even though everybody tells him so. And even though people believe in this person's energy that they thought themselves to be attractive, in actuality, they had a lot of personal doubts about their physical appearance. And I would ask you if you understand, not with that person's energy, but where there has been an eating disorder that I want to talk about, because I need to stop talking with my hands. I wish you'd stop. I'm going to sit on them. What are you talking about there? And I will leave you this anyway. I hope you'd understand that about being beautiful but not feeling beautiful, and where I do want to talk about somebody having suffered with an eating disorder. And I don't believe that that's him personally that has that disorder. And he has just made a joke about Princess Diana. I don't know what that is, and for the sake of my own reputation, I won't repeat it. but there is a joke about Princess Diana or Candle in the Wind, and I don't know what it is. And so we'll leave that where that is. Thank you. And please keep this positivity, keep upbeat. I do feel and to tell you that things can only get better. Life can only get better for you at the moment because you have such a special gift. I do keep being told that you are incredibly intuitive and a very powerful speaker to the people upstairs and roundabout and what have you. And apparently, and I know this sounds like a very bad joke, but if mediumship and spiritualism doesn't work out for you, then your ability to shuffle cards should see you right in a casino. And I'll leave you with the love before I end up keeping this gentleman's energy for myself, because it is so nice. And I'll leave you with that. Thank you, Lauren. It's very nice to connect to you and for you accepting the connection. I will just say for people who are watching, there's a book called Silver Birch where it says that every person is attached, every medium is selected for their life experiences, so that these experiences allow the spirits that most resonate with them to connect through. And so it's quite nice to see that in practice, where a gentleman who has lived a life that obviously I understand, having been in his position, chooses me to join so that he can connect in this way, because he knows I understand this, where other lives I don't understand, I can't bring through. It's fascinating for me personally to experience that. Not that you're interested, but I am. But I'll just say a couple more hellos, see if anyone jumps out, and then we'll if you could just say hi to me whilst I try and find somebody. Hello, Tracy Honey. That's a nice name. Hello, Nikki Athron. I hope I said that properly. Thank you very much, Lauren. And I do love your fiery red hair. You look like Bodicea. Hello, Michelle. Again, I do like your cherry blossoms. Hello, Rhonda. I was in the... right, sorry. I do like those butterflies flying over Terry's head. That's quite nice. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Heidi. I have been told I have a calming voice. My mother doesn't agree. She says it's monotonous. But it's a Lancastrian accent for you. Best accent in the world. Oh, Marcus is a fabulous read. And when you see, some people dismiss Silver Birch nowadays as being nonsense, but when you see some of the things that he says in his book actually working in practice, it does make you sort of go back to people and be like, hang on, because I have seen that is true. And it does work the way he said. Hello, Jessica Rives Lock. Lovely to see you, and thank you for joining us. Hello, Julie Caswell. It's quite all right being late. You are here exactly when you are meant to be. And hello, Tina again. And thank you. It's nice to connect when they connect in such a clear fashion, which is always nice. Apart from when they bring you dodgy evidence to start with. When someone just brings you something outrageous and you think, I'm so dead if I say that. Oh, thank you, Hazel. It's much appreciated. I'll try and find somebody else from upstairs whilst we... Okay. Which way is that going to be? So the next connection I have is starting on an unusual line. So I've had dad, granddad, friend. Now I think I want Great Dane. A Great Dane has just walked into my mind, and I don't know whether it's a male or female Great Dane at this moment in time, but I do know it should connect in the family. So if anyone, and whilst I work out how to speak Great Dane, I would ask if any, and there is there should be a dog also in spirit called Lady. I've just been told that. Can anyone understand this, where there is a dog called Lady and a Great Dane? What do I do with talking to a dog? This is going to be a fun connection. Well, yeah, if I could start here saying woof woof, but I'm going to have to ask them to type back in woof woofs, and then it'll look like a very bad Morse code. Can anyone understand this for me? I will try and get more if we don't. I don't necessarily believe the Great Dane is actually yours, but I do believe the connection tells me that the Great Dane existed within the family, possibly grandfathers or a dog that you would have remembered from when you were a child. And where there is, they are talking about a dog called Lady. I don't think it's the Great Dane, but you would hope that that makes sense to you. How do I understand? And if it's not, no, it did come as a Great Dane. So where are you now? Come back. And this Great Dane also, Sally, just say you can take a Great Dane. I would really appreciate it right now. This Great Dane would have no manners at all, be absolutely pig ignorant, and just wander off and do its own thing, because it's just gone, which is not helpful to me. Your brother had a Great Dane, and my sister had a dog called Lady. Alison Barton, you are a lifesaver. Can I work with yourself? That is... I thought they were about to ruin my spirit then, but if you can understand a Great Dane and a dog called Lady... but they were saying in my mind, Marcus, so let me just try and work with it. If Marcus knows a dog called Lady, but doesn't know the Great Dane, let's just see where we can go. Obviously, that's a bit of a take-up, but let's just see, because that was what it was. And there is... And a friend of mine had a dog called Lady. We would also have, within the world of spirit, not Lady, Laddie. Oh, he was a boy. Oh, yeah, I can see it. Sorry, that's just me reading that badly. There would be a man in the world of spirit who passed with a cancerous condition. I also know there is a dog in the world of spirit who passed with a cancerous condition, because they're both there together. That should be a male dog that had cancer. They have just brought me a border collie as well, so this is going to get into a really annoying message. Please come back to me. There is a connection to the month of February, so we need a man who passed with cancer, a Great Dane, a dog that could be Laddie, but they did say it as Lady. There is a border collie somewhere. I don't feel it's yours, and I don't like border collies, so it won't be stopping. And there is a birthday due in the month of December. Would anyone understand this? And if it's not a cancer, I don't understand what else it could be. They've changed, recently they've changed all my symbols for passing. It's a real nuisance. No, it is cancer. I think so. If it's not cancer, then the only other thing it could be, would be a damaged... which one's that? A damaged vena cava, so a damaged artery. You would understand if it's not a man who either died from a cancerous condition or from a torn artery. Your wife had a border collie. I do feel I might be with yourself, Marcus, if you can understand that. I don't know why I've got a Great Dane if you don't understand, but you understand a lady, a border collie. And your Cairn Terrier passed with cancer. Gonna have to get more, aren't I? And there is also very, very, very close around you, so either yourself, your spouse, or your children, depression on the earth at the moment, and somebody who really needs to give up smoking. Quite seriously needs to give up smoking, not because it's going to do them any harm, but obviously it does. Your brother-in-law had cancer, so did my dog. My birthday is December 15th, if anyone wants to buy me a gin. Would we understand, Alison, where there is this depression? That is what I need to talk about, where you can understand February links to the man with cancer. Let's just try and for whichever one of us it is, there is this feeling of having lost direction at the moment. There is healing being sent for depression for certain, because that is what they keep putting on me, and that's what these dogs are here for, to heal this depression. One of these dogs has a really, really bad leg. I do believe it would have had a cancer or a broken leg at some point, because it keeps hurting. And there is also mention to the earth side of somebody suffering with a damage to their wrists. My husband's birthday is December. Son, who is here, has the birthday in February. And Mary understood the Great Dane, the lady. Mary, do you understand the Border Collie as well? Your sister's... Oh, this is not going to go very well here. Let's try. I think I've got a treble quadruple link. I'm just going to have to... Would we understand this? My friend has a Border Collie and friend needs to give up smoking and has depression. No. We need to... you might not like being put on the floor, but you are being. I need a connection to the name Theresa. And I don't just mean you voted for Theresa May when it was her turn to run for election, but I have just asked for another piece of evidence, and it's either the name Theresa or the name Tessa, but it did sound like Theresa. And there is somebody on the earth as well, they've just mentioned, who is suffering with confusion at the moment. So somebody on the earth who is beginning to show the signs of dementia. Carpal tunnel syndrome, that was the one. Alison, it's going to be with you. And I do apologise to everybody else who can understand this, but it is going to be with Alison. That thing in the wrist, I couldn't think of the word, but it is carpal tunnel syndrome. That is what that is. Can you understand where there is somebody on the earth who is starting to be confused in the mind, either by dementia or by another mental health issue that is causing them to not think clearly? Because I don't feel I'm thinking clearly. And there would be this feeling at the moment of not knowing our direction. We don't know what direction to go in. Your sister-in-law is Theresa. It is with you, because I've asked for different things to split it up. They gave me Theresa. They gave me a sore wrist. If everybody else could just listen and take what they can from it, that would be perfect. But Alison, can I work with yourself? Is that all right? Because I feel at the moment that the message here is about perseverance and just keeping on pushing through, to be honest. But there is there's a very maternal energy that's just drawing closer to me in the world of spirit. I do feel she should be mum. If she's not mum, then she's incredibly maternal, and thus she is auntie or grandma, but I do feel she is mum. My brother-in-law, we think, is getting dementia. If you can understand this, they want to talk about sending healing to this issue. But I do feel I've got a lady here who feels like your mother. And if she isn't, I can't... You must have had an incredibly close relationship to one of the other two types of lady, because the love that is flowing through there is very strong. And your family in spirit would be incredibly strong-willed, because they've kept pushing and pushing. And let me just understand this. Would we have any connection? Which one are you going to have? to the name Alan. Yeah, I do. And it very close to your mum. You would understand this. And you would understand your mum on the higher side of life, because this is the energy that is there. And I don't feel it can be anybody but, in terms of the amount of love that's flowing through there for this connection and for the desire to make this connection. And there would also be confusion in the world of spirit as well. So we would know on the higher side of life where somebody had started to lose, become disorientated, uncertain of themselves. And so you should understand that upstairs as well as here upon the earth. Would that make sense to Alison? And a need to make a decision at this moment. I do know, I feel very strongly about the idea of telling you have lots of options, but the best thing to do is to just make a decision, just pick a direction. I know it sounds daft, but as you watch this message unfold, and if you watch it back later, you'll see that you already know the right direction. You already know who you should be going to, meaning me, myself. But you should also know where you're going to. You can't take an Alan. Well, can you take... Well, I mean, you are Alison, so that's possibly me being stupid. Right. Alison, would you understand you having two siblings? Would you understand two siblings to yourself? They're talking about the chipmunks. They gave me Alvin, Simon and Theodore, so I gave Alvin as Alan because it felt the closest I could make sense of it. But would you understand you and your two siblings, so being one of three? And if not, then I would hope you would understand any connection to Alvin, Simon and Theodore, the chipmunks. But I can't for the life of me think what that would be. And you need support at the moment. This lady, her message to you as well is that she is really sorry that she can't be here to guide you at the moment, where you could really do. Not that she would be one for loading out advice in life, but she does make me feel that she is sorry that she can't be here. 8 brothers and sisters. Jesus, wept. You mustn't have paid your TV licence. Can you place me any connection then to the chipmunks? She's talking about this set of 3, and obviously it's not your siblings then. But one of 8. I bet Christmas is busy at your house. You don't know about the chipmunks. What could you be, my love? Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Is there a memory to eating nuts? Do you like nuts? I've just asked what the chipmunks could possibly mean, and then it's changed to a Christmas carol. But then I can only make sense of it as being nuts. Am I not listening to you? What is the issue? Right, I don't know. Alison, what I'm going to ask you to do with this particular reference to the chipmunks. Oh yeah, obviously. 8 brothers and sisters, one of 9. What I am going to ask you to do, Alison, is just remember that I've mentioned the chipmunks from Alvin, Simon and Theodore. I have absolutely no idea why I've got this. If you don't have a memory particularly to eating nuts or roasting chestnuts, I can't understand what she's on about. She won't change it, and as I ask it to repeat itself, all they do is put the feeling of passing on me stronger. So I know that they're trying to stress, and either I'm not listening or they're not explaining very well, but I can't understand. You do like nuts, and they're saying you like almonds, but they're so expensive. Thank you. If you could just think about it, because I can't take it back. I've said it, and that is how it was given. And I mean, I do feel it's a name. You recently roasted chestnuts, well, that could be it, but I won't make it fit. Just remember I've give it. And there is this reference about chestnuts roasting on an open fire, because that's the song it changed to. But I'll leave you with the love of this lady and of the collective energies that are there, including the dogs, although those dogs have departed at this moment in time. And the main message is there is so much healing being sent to the earth right now for so many different things that you just need to know that you are loved and supported. Can you say that to me again, please? Alison, can I just give you these two things as final connections? First of all, the idea that you feel that you are running out of steam, like you know you've got a lot of things coming up that are going to need you to be strong for, but you feel that you haven't got the right amount of steam to carry it off. And the second feeling of, how do I say that? Of not really feeling connected at this moment in time. So you must be feeling a little bit lost and a need to re-find yourself or re-find your connection to life or something similar to this. But that you are feeling like you're running out of steam and that it's one problem after the next problem. But take the love, take the healing, take the care from this lady. And thank you for joining me and for accepting the connection and responding so promptly. It does make it easier for us as we work. And I shall leave you with a love there. Thank you very much. Yes, fabulous, fabulous. Tomorrow evening we have Ellie Charles. She's a spiritual medium, and I believe she'll be doing similar to myself, talking to the people upstairs and trying to bring you lots of lovely connections from your family in spirit. She's a very pretty lady, isn't she? And this is just to let you know about a trance demonstration that is coming up on December 6th. For patrons of the page, it will be £8. For people who are angel members, £5. And for non-patrons, it will be £10. It is obviously of benefit to be a patron, as you get those lovely discounts. A trance demonstration is where spirit moves into the body of the medium and speaks in such a fashion, and I'm assuming that questions will be able to be asked of these people. It will be a closed event in Zoom, and unless you have the password, you will not be allowed to attend. And emails will be sent out with the password on the day, and these will be checked. But it will be a fantastic event. Trance, when done well, is absolutely fabulous. It is one of the best experiences you can have. But there are limited places, so please do book as quickly as you can if you wish to attend. Thank you, Alison, for working with me. I do appreciate that, and thank you for accepting the dogs. I know messages that start with dogs often wander in funny directions, but oh, thank you very much, Hazel. I do like the butterflies, by the way. It's very nice. Thank you, Christine. Thank you, Rhonda. And then there's a gentleman coming towards me at this moment in time. I do feel that I need to give a connection to a gentleman in the world of spirit whose name is Charlie. Is either Charlie or Charles, but he came rushing forward. And there is it seems as well my night for gentlemen and my night for cancers, but there is a cancerous condition. But the cancerous condition I do not feel is with the gentleman. We are talking about where we would have a cervical cancer condition, but it does feel that that's in spirit. It doesn't feel that they're making reference to the earth plane. But we should understand Charles or Charlie, and he connects on a family connection. He is on his own at the moment, but apparently the rest of the brigade are on their way. So I would believe that he belongs to a big family in spirit. And I do believe his brother should be in spirit also, because he has just said his brother is coming too. But where his brother is, I don't know. So putting the cervical cancer condition aside for 1 minute, and I have absolutely no idea why I've decided to put it to one side, but we are doing. Can anyone place me a connection to a gentleman whose name is Charles or Charlie? He is drawing my attention to the lung, so I know the primary cause of his passing is a lung problem. They are making reference, as other people are moving forward, of where heart disease is an issue. And there are a number of dogs. I know I had dogs before, but there is also mention of a horse, so we should have a family memory of a horse. I say a family memory of a horse. We should have one of our family members should be our horse. Whether that's just a rude insult or an actual horse, I don't really know. I often refer to my auntie as the lady who could chew an apple through a letterbox. It's not very spiritual, that, is it? So can anyone understand this? A gentleman whose name is Charles or Charlie, and he does feel like he's a blood connection to yourself. I do feel he connects as an uncle more than anything. Oh, get in. Just as I said, Stacey Shaw, Uncle Charlie. That's lovely. If you can understand an Uncle Charlie, can you understand this gentleman being in spirit, Stacey Shaw? And can you understand where there is the problems with the breathing and also problems with the heart in the world of spirit? Not necessarily with himself, but that is what he brought through with him as he came. And then a number of animals in the world of spirit that he also joined us with. Can we understand that? He had dogs. Lovely. And let's just try and get them this gen. You rode horses, so that's why we're making reference to the horses. Do we know where there is an Eddie or Edward going backwards into the family? And I don't like to, go through all the old-fashioned male names, but I am told there is a Jack. I'm not doing that. I also know Uncle Charlie, or Charles, would not be the biggest believer in mediumship, because as I mentioned to Jack, he said, why don't you give a James and John as well? Just to really, keep with the trends. So thank you for that, sir. He is in spirit, and yes, lung problems and heart problems took him over. Thank you very much for that. Would you understand, Stacey, that he is not a great believer in mediumship and that he would have thought it was nonsense? Because I do feel he is taking the mick out of me at this particular moment in time. And he says there is this Eddie that he mentioned, and he is mentioning a Jack, but now I'm not convinced about if the Jack is right, because I think he might actually be just making a joke. But he should have had a nice sense of humour, because to come through bringing jokes, Eddie is my dad, his brother-in-law, and Jack, my granddad, is his father-in-law. Lovely. I'll be glad to accept that. I am told to bring around, I've got to give you a Mars bar. I don't have the faintest idea where I'm supposed to give you a Mars bar. I do want to draw attention to where there is diabetes on the Earth. If you don't know that, that's not me predicting that. That's just me getting it wrong. James is his grandson and John was his... And the man just said, why don't you just mention a James and John as well? I thought he was just making a joke. But so long as you understand who they are and there is a reason why he's made reference to them, that's obviously important. And I think I've just shown myself up, so that's quite all right. I mean, what, do I give a Margaret now? Is that what we do, Margaret? And would you know Stacey and Margaret and Mary, just to like sort of edge all my bets with this gentleman? He has a lovely energy, and I know why I'm getting this message, and why this message is coming in this way. It's because he wants to uplift at the moment. I do feel diabetes in the family, and you used to eat Mars bars. Lovely, because I just got a Mars bar thrown at my head and told to pass it over, so thanks for this. You should know the name Lily, or the name Lillian. I am told that you would rather speak to a lady. I hope you'd understand he's making reference to a lady who passed, and in her past, he liked to tease people. Margaret's his daughter and Mary is his mum. I'm not sure if you're joking now, and I'm a little bit creeped out because I'm sure he was joking. Don't you love mediumship? I'm never coming back. Can we understand why there is so much need for laughter at the moment upon the earth, and why? I really like this man's energy, but I wish he'd stop making me laugh. But there is this need for everybody to lift their spirits. It's so miserable. So around you, I mean, I do feel that you like laughing. I do feel that this is why he connects in this laughy way to you, because you like it. But he just wants so much happiness to be around on the earth at the moment. I feel like I'm supposed to tell you, like, there's every reason to be smiling, but we're just not feeling this right now. Would you understand that? And then I do want to go back. There is a mention of a lady who had stomach cancer. I don't know who this lady is. He just told me to mention her. So we should understand the lady with the stomach cancer. And she does go back. Wow. Wow. Anyway, but he is talking about the lady with the stomach cancer. He did talk about the lady who had cervical cancer, but then he's pushed that off a bit. So I don't know where it's gone or why he's made it move away. But I do feel we'll know about that in the past. I do feel it is something that would have been a passing, and obviously with a lady. Don't do that to me. Where's well, who keeps being sarcastic every time you give them an answer? They've got a smart answer to give back to you, and you just sort of think that you're going to give them a warm jaw the next time they do it. I know you say there's arguments in the family there, and that is where he's trying to bring for this laughter. But there is a situation where somebody just keeps being smart-mouthed at you, because as I asked this lady, or the gentleman rather, about the lady with the cervical cancer, he did say, well, it wouldn't be a man, would it? And it's like, well, I know that, but it's not. Why be clever? So somebody is being clever, and he feels they need a warm jaw. Do not advocate violence as a spiritualist, but your family, to me, are allowed to tell you what they would do in your shoes. If you could ask your mum, that would be very much appreciated. I do feel it would go back in the family. And if it isn't diagnosed as cervical cancer, we would know where. Your mum should at least say that there is a cancer there, but we don't know where it started. Your partner is always sarcastic. Can we understand where there was a lady that you never got to say goodbye to, but you wished that you could? Because I do keep getting this female energy pressing in, but his energy is like constantly overlapping it. I'll leave that message really where it is, because this man is going to get me into trouble. And even though I like him, I think I'm going to end up arguing with him. I've never had I don't think I've had a spirit for ages where I think I could get in a row with them. What are you talking about there? Okay. Right. Okay. He's talking about That's a swear word, actually. I didn't realise. Move that back. Can you... You regularly slap him. That's fine. You probably shouldn't admit to that in public, but that's okay. Can we understand the lady? Your biological dad's mum. You understand this? Because there is a lady there who wanted to say that she loved you. And I just know that you wanted to say goodbye to her, but you couldn't say goodbye to her. I know I'm supposed to tell you that there's no issue there with this lady's passing. They do keep making reference to the word Oti. Like it's either Oti or Otis. And I know obviously there used to be Otis the Aardvark, but they do keep making reference to Oti or Otis. I'm going to assume with the Otis or Oti, you don't know what that is, and I would hope you could ask about it. But I can't move it away, so it must be where it is. This man is a character. You know, it's so strange, Stacey, and I hope you'd understand this. He's a really nice man, but by Jove, he could rub you up the wrong way. Once he got his humour going, he wouldn't know when to stop a joke. You know, when somebody's really funny, but they don't know when enough is enough, and they've actually just begun to annoy you. And so I am going to leave him while I'm enjoying his company. You like Otis the singer? I have no idea who Otis the singer is. So, Sitting on the Rock of the Bay. Oh, that sounds a nice song. I will have to listen to that. And that does sound a nice title. Ah, right. Oh, yeah. Got it. It is a nice song, that. Yeah. I have heard it. I was hearing voices then, literally. But lovely. That is a nice song. But I don't know what that's got to do with anything. What I got to leave you with is somebody who's been suffering with terrible indigestion or wind. He keeps burping at me. I know that sounds ridiculous, but he just burps at me. And do we know who has a burping competition? That is a vile thing to do. It's not funny. It's really not. Do we know who's doing it? He keeps saying to me, Mortivica. And I know that Mortivica means when you're suffering with indigestion or you're burping a lot. And I can't understand why he's laughing at it. So there must be like two people on the earth who like try and do this, or is suffering with this problem. It's not really a problem, like, is it? But you do. And don't you dare make me do that. That's not funny. I really am gonna cut this connection now, Stacey, because this man is about to get on my wick. And he's either gonna do that or he's gonna get me in a lot of trouble. He's a really, really nice man and a very funny man, but he's pushed it past the point that I can accept it. So thank you for the connection. I take his love, take the upliftment that is around, and please try to avoid giving your partner a warm chin or cheek. It's not advisable. And then I'll try and find another connection. Oh, have we? I do apologise, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you who are watching, we have run out of time, but thank you for having me. Thank you for joining and to responding to what I had to give you so quickly. Oh, that's very nice. Thank you, June. Oh, thank you. It's very nice, Tracy. I do like Honey as a surname. It's a very nice surname. Oh, thank you for accepting the message, Terry. I'm going to have to work out how to put those butterflies over my head. They're cracking. Well, that video I did earlier on philosophy, people thought it was Snapchat, but it was me. It's so nice, Elaine, though, to have a gentleman come through whose energy is like just so alive. And you know, there's nothing nicer than lively spirits. It just proves that they're still there, and just as they were when they were here. Oh, thank you, Phil. It's always a pleasure. Thank you for watching, Sam. And thank you, Mary Dixie. I'm sorry that message didn't end up with you, but you do have to just follow it through. Lovely. Well, it's been very nice to be here this evening, and thank you for all your lovely comments. I'm no good at accepting compliments, so other than just going, oh, thank you, I'll probably sound like a bit of a Burke and very ungrateful, but I don't do compliments. But thank you for staying with us. Thank you for supporting Spiritual Psychic TV, as always, and I know you'll have a lovely week, because I do tune in myself from time to time. And please do look into the trance demonstration that is on the 6th of December. Honest to God, as a working medium myself, trance is one of the most incredible things to see and to witness. And I know that Richard would not have got somebody who is not worth watching. But as I say, it is private and you do have to book to attend the event, but I can't recommend it strongly enough. But thank you for joining me, and I wish you all good night. And if I do not see you before, have a very safe Christmas. And if you're watching from America, have a very happy Thanksgiving or a happy Hanukkah as it falls in a few weeks' time. And thank you all.